I picked up a cheap eBay plasma. It was 177 bucks. It's a refurb deal, but how can you go wrong for that? I can tell already I'm gonna like it. Well, my first test cut here is pretty ugly, but that's also some nasty steel. All right, now I'm gonna try some metal that actually matters. So here is my 16 gauge that is going to be part of the rear firewall. This is where the package tray is going in the Beretta there. And since the gas tank is in the back, it has to have a firewall. And this is a good one to test on. It's nice and clean, but it's also going to get covered up by the carpet for the rear package tray here. So even if these first cuts that I'm making here end up super ugly, it ain't really going to matter. These are straight cuts that would actually be easy with a cutoff wheel, but I want to try this out and see how it goes. Oh my God, that's so fast. That is insanely fast. Wow. I'm going to love this thing. Now I'll have to, this I really didn't care about how straight they were, so I'll have to do guides for stuff that I care about how straight it is, because they're not great that way, but wow, that is so friggin' fast. So my first two cuts here, I was definitely going a little too slow, and you can see the heat affected zone is a little bigger, but still, that's a pretty nice clean cut. There's a little bit of dross on here, but really not much to speak of, and it was better when I went faster. This is the one that I friggin' flew through here. Look at that cut. That is nice.
The main reason I bought this thing was so that I could do curved cuts. The first one being in the back of the Beretta here where the axle needs clearance. But man, there's so much more stuff I'm going to use this for. I should have bought one of these years ago.
Okay, this is double wall right here, not working great. So I cranked up the air pressure to hopefully try and blast that plasma through better. Let's see. So you might have seen some of my other videos, I can cut plastic at work, but I can't cut metal. This is a plastic mock-up. I still got to make one of these later. But what I'm going to do, I know the inside diameter of this hole. I'm going to use this piece of plastic as a jig. And when I figure out the offset and the difference between the hole in this jig and then the hole that the plasma cuts, I'll know what size I have to make holes to make plastic templates that will basically turn my hand plasma into like a CNC plasma almost. Okay, so that hung up a little bit right here when I was dragging across. I'm not sure why, but that's a pretty freaking nice cut for the most part. My start and stop wasn't great. Well, I guess the stop was fine. The start wasn't great, but that's a decent cut. And let's see. So I'm like 180 on the jig and about 1882 on the hole itself. So that's about a 150 offset that I need to remember to make my jig, my plastic jig, either bigger or smaller, depending on whether I'm keeping the piece that I'm cutting out or the piece that I'm cutting the hole in. So this little eBay piece of junk straight from China. Thank you, Mr. Jinping. 177 bucks. This one was a refurb. A brand new one of this 40 amp is like 250 bucks, I think. I figured I'd try the refurb. Works perfect so far. I don't know about longevity yet. I also got a package of the consumables on eBay. It was 18 bucks for a 10 pack. It had 10 of everything that's in there. These are the cups. So, I mean, we'll see how it works long term. I'm already finding it very, very useful. water back. Yeah, that's more like it. See why it struggled here. This thing is 3 layers thick. They said multiple layers was one of the downfalls of a plasma. There! There's the old coilover mounts. Okay, now I think I'm done with the butchery in here. You can see that plasma had a hard time with the real thick stuff. But I got my new coilover mounts. Very happy with those. What I got to do is get this rear axle back in here and figure out my clearance to the drive shaft when I'm basically sitting like on the frame here. You can see I've got my sheet metal piece here. That's what I was cutting with the plasma when I was testing it out. I have another piece for the giant hole in the back here. I'm going to tie that together with another strip that's going to go from this part to my new 16 gauge rear firewall. We're ready to weld my new pennant bar mount on, and took the frame, beat it up. This is where the spare tire used to be, that's why that's a curve there. But I think that's going to work pretty well. I'll weld all that stuff together.